you feeling, man? Caught the bug?
Oh, yeah, man. I asked Joe and Paul, but did you get a little bit sick or anything the last 2 days?
Yeah, I'm definitely sick now. Yeah, I'm for sure sick now.
I don't. All
Uh,
I have is like I haven't had a fever, but I've been lethargic. I didn't really feel anything Monday too bad, but yesterday and
uh,
today, like I think I've like yesterday I probably slept probably 14, 15 hours, which this is coming from a guy who can't sleep.
Same here.
So
Same here.
I just felt so fucking tired, and I was like, I don't know if I'm jet lagged, but like I checked my temperature in my ear, and I'm like, oh, my temperature's fine. I don't have a sore throat. I'm not coughing. Like no upset stomach. My appetite's down a little bit, but I was like, man, I think I've caught some type of strange bug.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No fever, no sore throat, but I'm not even congested. My nose is running, and then I'm just tired. Just tired.
Yeah, I was just tired. That was my problem. Like I
Yeah,
felt
yeah,
bad that I got back to my clients at like 9 o'clock last night. Like that's not normal for me to do. I got back to
yeah.
all the prep clients like early because I'm like, fuck, man, you have to just deal with this, suck it up. But like the off season people, I try to be done by 5 o'clock every day, and it just wasn't happening yesterday.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the Olympia is one of those things, or the Arnold. If you go, you're probably gonna come back with a bug. And we were kind
Yeah,
of mild, huh?
you kind of have to with as many people's there, and then you're on an
Uh,
airplane coming and going as well.
yeah. I mean, we were on the mild side. I feel like we didn't shake as many hands as we usually do because we were kind of just like more in and out, maybe. But still, I
You
mean,
kind of froze
it's
there for a second,
uh-oh.
but I get where you were going. You said we didn't shake as many hands.
Yeah, but just it's still so many people that even if you don't mingle as much, it's still a lot of exposure, you know?
Yeah, I remember when I was still running booths and stuff. Like I just knew it, and there was nothing I could do about it. But the Arnold, the Olympia, and I think I did the Dallas Fit Expo was big back in the day, and the Pittsburgh Pro. Like I knew when I go there, I was like, I'm 1,000% going to be sick, and every time I was sick, it was a cold. We
Mhm.
didn't worry about shit back, 10 years ago. Same as I don't worry about shit now, but still sucks being
Yeah.
sick.
There's that one men's physique guy, Aaron Banks. Anytime he goes to the expo, he'll have like a hoodie and like a not a mask, but like something covering his face and like something covering his
Really?
hands. It looks over the top, but he's like, "Fuck that! I'm not getting sick. I'm tired of getting sick." And you know what? I get it. Like I just can't get myself to do that, but I
I
understand it because,
can't.
huh?
Yeah, I gotta say, I won't knock him on that. Normally, like, I still see people wearing like,
Mhm.
I saw somebody the other day in my town. It was before the Olympia. He's riding an e-bike down the street with a mask on his face. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, what the fuck are you doing? But like at an
Yeah.
expo and stuff, it's like, I'm not a germ freak. I'm not a COVID freak or any of that. But like, I almost get it. It's like, because you're going to be sick after the shit.
100%. I mean, imagine like a men's physique Olympian, and he's won the title. I think at least once, maybe or twice. I don't keep up, but
Once or twice,
imagine
yeah.
imagine how many hands he's shaking, how many people he's talking to. Yeah, 100, 10 out of 10, you're gonna get sick. There's no way around it. So, yeah, I almost get it. Other than not showing up, what else the fuck can you really do? At that point, you
Yeah,
know.
I remember there was times like people would come up in my line and they're getting ready to meet me and they're like, they're coughing. I'm like, shit. I should have just been like, I should have taken a picture of that person and then like, hey man, what's your name? And then like just tag like, thanks for getting me sick, fucker. Thanks for bringing this shit here.
I got to be honest. That wasn't on my mind this year. It didn't even cross. But last year, what's the thing that we take for that? What's the injectable NAC? What's that called?
I think it's just NAC.
Yeah, there was some. There's a name to this shit that we. I can't forget.
I never
Glutathione?
did do
Is
any
it
type of
glutathione?
preventive stuff like that. So whatever it is,
Mm.
I honestly probably didn't even know about it. I know a lot of guys, a lot of people think they can mega dose like vitamin C and it's going to like prevent everything, but I don't think that's the case. It may help to some small extent, but like to be fair, like if I took 2 grams of vitamin C with every meal, it acts as like a diuretic. It's like, man, I don't want to be running to the fucking bathroom like every 45 minutes on top of that.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, once you pass the effective dose, it's not really doing much to you. But yeah, last year we were thinking about that. We took a bunch of the injectable NAC and vitamin C and stuff, and I don't remember if we got sick last year. I'm sure some of us did. But anyways, this was your first Olympia that you weren't working, right? Your non-working
Yeah,
Olympia.
this was actually the very first time I've ever been to the Olympia without a motive of like business. Well, it's always business of some sort. Whether you're running a booth, that's business because you're sponsored. Or
Hmm.
two, you're training somebody. Or three, I went here and I said it'd been 11 years, but turns out this was my first one because in 2014, I did go to the Olympia, but I went with the sole intention of meeting with sponsors. So, like, I had probably 10, 15 different companies that we sat down and had like half-hour meetings with. So, like, I've always had an agenda when I go
Hmm.
there. This is like a lot better time because I used to be like up until now, I was like, fuck them expos, man. I'm not doing that shit. Like I don't want to be around that shit. But it's kind of cool when you go and you have nothing to do. It's like if my phone rings, I don't give a shit because
Hmm.
I know there's nothing emergency unless it's like my mom or dad, right? Unless
Hmm.
it's like that, like I know that there's nothing on the other end of that phone that can't wait. Like if a client calls, I will get, and I did it. I had a phone call with the guy like right when you stepped out. Like I'll get
Hmm.
back to him, but like while I'm actually there at the expo, I get a chance to enjoy it and see it for what it is and see it from a fan's perspective.
So how would you rank it in relation to when you're working?
Obviously much funner. Like
Okay.
it's on a different level. I mean, I don't want to say working it is not fun because I've met a lot of cool, interesting people. Now I met some that I'm just like, please get this motherfucker out of my line. There was a few that I just did not like the interaction that I had, but that's normal. Not everybody is supposed to like everybody in the world. That's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
how it is. But just being able to walk around and come and go as I please, and I got to pester a few people that, I get to go up and pester them at their booth now. So that's
Exactly.
kind of fun. um,
Y- There's
but yeah,
like
and it was kind of cool because I felt like maybe a third to a half of the people who they all knew me there. So,
mhm.
I got a few like random, like, hey man, how are you? Can I get a picture with you? But like back when I was big, big, it was like I couldn't go from one side to the other. Like if I had to piss, I had to actually turn people down because I was like, look, man, I was like, I can't take a picture. I gotta go piss. Like,
Yeah,
because if I
yeah,
stop, now I've got to wait like 10 more pictures. And the next thing you know, I come back to the booth and they're like, Justin, man, where you been? You've been gone for a fucking hour. And I'm like, don't worry, I'm wearing your shirt, man. I'm still promoting you. I'm still taking pictures out here. I'm just not doing it at the booth.
exactly, exactly. I feel like I see people looking at you, but I can't tell if they're trying to figure out if it's you or they, or they kind of,
A lot of
or
people
they kind
hasn't
of,
actually seen me since I was big, because I don't go
yeah.
to the big shows anymore.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess if I didn't know you personally and I was just going off of, knowing you from back in the day, I would probably be thinking the same thing. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's Justin Compton. He's still pretty big. I'm not sure. You're kind of thinking, and by the time you think, you already walked by. But I feel like there's phases to expos, right? When you start off as a teenager, you want to go take
That's how I
pictures with
started off. Yeah.
yeah, you want to go take pictures with everybody you look up to, right? Then you become kind of a grown man, so you don't really want to take a bunch of pictures. But then now you're like, well, what reason do I have being here? So now you actually want to work a booth, right? You want to be in a booth, so you have a reason to go. Then when you actually work a booth, you're like, fuck that. I don't actually want to work a booth anymore. But by that
No,
point,
I don't miss working the booth, to be honest. I like doing what I just did, just hanging out.
Yeah, but you almost have to get to a point where you know enough people that going makes sense because you're gonna be talking like basically they become your peers, right? So now most of the people there you actually know. So now you're going to kind of see your friends that you don't get to see most of the year, right? It becomes you start as a fan, then you go into like an employee, then you just become a guy that knows everybody there. So now you're just going to see friends at that point, right? And I think that's the best time to go, or like the funnest time to go when you just want to go see your friends, basically. You know?
You know who probably did this the best? I never really was a fan of him. No, nothing like. It's not that I don't like the guy. I just his content never appealed to me. But we talked about him with Bradley Castleberry.
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
Like when I was competing, he kind of had it made, man, because like he had a huge following. Fuck, there was more people in the building that knew him than they did me, and I was competing on that stage that day. But he would literally just like he just walk around the expo, just pull his shirt off, and all of a sudden he's got a crowd around him and stuff because he's Bradley Castleberry, and
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
not paying for a booth or anything. He is like it was like the ultimate free promotion, and but yet he can just put his shirt on, put a hat on, and just kind of vanish when he wants to vanish too.
This is true. He was there. He
I
was.
saw it with my own. I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But he didn't seem like he had as many people stopping him or crowds around him that used to be like
I
maybe
think his hype train has just kind of died out now, though.
I
Like
think
right
so.
now, it's Sam. Sam had the biggest line there,
Oh
Sam
yeah,
McGill.
Sam.
But I mean, in
Yeah.
10 years from now, Sam ain't going to have that line either. Someone else is going to replace him.
No, you're not. It doesn't mean you lose your following. You just lose your engagement more than anything, right?
Oh, shit.
Yeah. You
He kind
you
of
good?
froze for a second again.
Uh-oh. You got me? Yeah, my internet's been kind of trash. You got me?
Oh, yeah, I hear you now. Now you're back.
Uh-oh.
You
Yeah,
said it doesn't mean that's all I
yeah.
heard.
It's like you don't lose your following. People still know who you are, but you don't have as much engagement, right?
Yeah.
It, if you didn't know how big like Simeon Panda and Ulysses and Kai Green were back in the day, you would think their followers were fake because they
Yeah.
don't get they don't get any engagement nowadays. Like they don't get likes and comments. So you would be like, they must have bought it. It's like no, it's real. It's just not their
My
time anymore.
page,
Yeah.
I actually had this conversation just earlier today, and I was just thinking, like, well, I haven't competed in 9 years now. Like my following, because at one point I had like 300, I think it was just shy of like a little over 300,000, and now
Mm-hmm.
it's at like 218,000,
Mm-hmm.
which that's crazy. 80,000 people don't follow you because you don't compete, but I'm not mad about
That's
that
wild.
because
Yeah.
it's like if I follow a comedian and all of a sudden he stops making comedy, why am I going to follow you, right? I don't
Yeah.
know you personally. So I mean, I get it, but like some of my pages and stuff, or some of my posts will get like instead of getting like 10,000 comment or sorry 10,000 likes, it gets like 800. I'm like, huh, funny how that works. But like I'm too prideful. Like I'm not going to buy following because I would never spend the money on it.
No,
Like
but
I didn't even spend the money. Like Hani wanted me to get a video guy to like go around video, do edits and stuff for me. And I'm like, yeah, if you're paying for it, that's fine, but I'm not paying for it.
fuck that. Yeah. Yeah. If I feel like I would only unfollow a person, even if you retire, that doesn't bother me, unless like you completely shift. Like let's say you completely step away from fitness, and maybe I don't relate to you personally, and you start doing like some weird content, like I don't know, some fucking cosplay or some shit. I'm like, I don't really want to see
There's been a
cosplay.
few like that. I'm not going to name drop the guy because I actually looked up to him when I was younger, but like he turned pro, and again, this kind of comes down to something that we talked about this weekend as well, which we'll probably branch over into that
Mhm.
eventually. But like when he retired, I think he did one or two pro shows, and then he retired, and the dude actually did legit become a pastor. So like
Yeah.
his whole page went from bodybuilding, bodybuilding, bodybuilding to Bible verses and preaching. And I'm like, look, man, like I like you. I mean, we never had this conversation. He probably doesn't even know who I am for that matter. Like
Hmm.
I don't think he keeps up with bodybuilding even in the least nowadays.
Hmm.
But yeah, like when I see it, I'm like, it's not that I have a problem with anything you're putting out, but that's not why I followed you. And I've never met you before. I've never had engagement with you before. I followed you for your training videos. So it's like now I'm kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
Like if I seen him, I'd be really nice to him. It's not that I don't like him. I just don't really want to have that in my face all the time.
I know what you mean. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Because I remember when Dorian posts bodybuilding stuff now, but there was a while where it was just like weed and meditation and stuff, and it didn't bother me. I was kind of like, it's interesting seeing him like be a little different, but
Well, Dorian's unique though, because like he was always, in my opinion, I still don't know that much about the real Dorian. He's
Mhm.
very I don't want to say I don't even say he's secretive.
Private.
I guess this is where me and him do have a lot in common because if you were to ask a fan something about my personal life, most of them couldn't tell you anything I do outside of bodybuilding. And I'm that way with Dorian. Like, I don't have a clue. I mean, I know he got into the DMT, the weed, the ayahuasca stuff, but I found it interesting because, like, I never saw that side of him. And it's also, I thought about, like, is this what it's like? Like, do you have to find yourself again when you retire from bodybuilding? And you actually do. I didn't find
Yeah,
myself the same way he did, but, like, to each their own. I mean,
yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
saying I would turn down an ayahuasca trip. I just need to trust it. I have to trust the fucker giving it to me a whole lot.
100%. Yeah. So something like that, it was still interesting for me to watch. I'm like, I kind of want to see where this story goes, but like, let's say, what's the guy? I hope I don't draw a blank. Damn, uh, I'm drawing a blank. The guy, the one that I used to coach, Zaid, bodybuilder.
Oh, Brad.
Yeah,
Brad.
Brad Rowe, yeah. So a lot of people stopped following him, and I understand why, because it's non-fitness related and it's a little bit it's super spiritual. But I still kind of want to see it. I'm not following him really hard, but when I see updates here and there, it's interesting. Like he has like long hair,
No,
long beard.
I agree with you. It doesn't look like the same Brad that I remember. It doesn't speak like the same Brad that I remember. But honestly, I like him still, and I still follow Brad because, like, the content, again, it's like, I said when we all retire, it's like there's like a period where it's like you got to figure out what the hell to do with your life. And I
Hmm.
think that's where Brad's at. And from the sounds of his like posts and stuff, it sounds like he's battled a lot of demons in his own head over the
Hmm.
last decade or so. It's like, and Brad's been very open about a lot of things. And I wish I was, rather than like, I'm the type that holds back a lot, but Brad's wide open. Like I saw where he was like, he's trying to help other people out as well. And like he's always been a very positive person. I remember when he got divorced, he actually made a comment, and I have no idea why they got divorced, just for the record. But he made the comment basically said there was no like infidelity in his fault, the responsibility. And I just think that takes a big person to come out and say that. Most people would just hush hush and be quiet and move on. Like I've always liked Brad for who he is. So like his journey has been very interesting. Like from that, or he's talking about people and drinking alcohol and stuff like that. So I assume he's kind of had his own little journey. But yeah, I could see if you weren't into bodybuilding and didn't know Brad before, you probably wouldn't follow him now. Like, watch him transition to a different phase into his life.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely like the
You still
fact that
there? Oh,
yeah, yeah. I like the fact that he's an open book. I feel like if I had him on the podcast, I feel like nothing would be off limits. I feel like he would talk about anything, everything, in depth, personal stuff, which
yeah.
I do find interesting. I'm always I like seeing people grow and evolve because we're not going to be the same person. So some people they're a bit more drastic, like we see with Brad Rowe or somebody like you. Like you're the same person, but like a different version of that person is just not as drastic. But everybody has to evolve. You know, you're not going to be the same person. It's like when somebody says, "Oh, you changed," it's like you're supposed to change. You know, everybody's supposed to change and evolve. You're not supposed to be the same person you were 10 years ago. You know. But yeah, so they're a different version of that.
I feel like with me, the biggest thing I feel like that's changed with me is the fact. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, no, I didn't say anything.
Is there a delay here, or
There's
yeah? I think with me, like I feel like when I was a pro, I knew when the camera was on, and I felt like I wasn't authentic as I wanted to be because I was like I had to put off this like perfect person persona. And like you would probably be lucky to ever hear me say a cuss word when I was pro or when I was actively competing because I felt like I was much like Jay. You know, Jay was very robotic acting in all of his interviews when he was competing. And now that he's not, you see a whole different side of him. He didn't change. This was the guy he always was. And it's kind of similar with me. Like I didn't really let anybody in on anything about my life. It's like, yeah, I've ate my chicken and rice and got a good pump today. That's pretty much all you knew about me.
yeah, yeah,
But I also feel like back in like my era of competing, Flex and Phil may have been one of the first two guys that actually would post on their social media like stuff that was about their personal life outside of food and the gym and the stage. So like that's one good thing I will give social media. I think it has brought a little bit more light to just letting athletes kind of reach a different fan base per se.
yeah. I think you can hear me, right?
Yeah, there's just a slight delay, but I can hear you.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of delay. Yeah, you're very similar to Jay in that I feel like when you were competing, you weren't. What's the word? I don't want to say talkative. I don't know. You seem maybe more relatable. Maybe definitely a lot more open, retired than you were as a pro. You know.
Yeah, I feel like if I was competing in today's time, I think I'd probably still be the person I am nowadays. And I think that's one of the very few good attributes of social media is it's kind of brought me out to be more extroverted than introverted.
Yeah, yeah. When I started making videos on social media, I almost didn't know because you can say be yourself, but most of us are kind of complex. We have different sides, so I didn't know how to be myself. I'm like, I like cracking jokes, but I could be serious as well, and I could be pretty focused, and sometimes I could be kind of not. I almost didn't know how to be myself. I'm like, what version do I show here? I don't know. And then eventually you do it for a while, and you get comfortable enough to learn how to be yourself. So like you tell somebody, just be yourself. It's easier said than done. You almost don't know how to be yourself on camera besides just getting comfortable.
And some people, and I'm gonna take a shot at somebody on this. Some people needs to not be themselves. I mean, I get it, and I respect her. But you know who? When I say her, do you know who I'm going after right now?
I think so. I think she needs to stop being herself as well.
Somebody, Sarah's husband needs to take the phone away from her. Somebody does. Like, I'm just
Bro,
thinking out loud. Like, I understand you're upset, and I get, that you lost, but the fact that you're acting like this, if there was, like, I feel like if there ever was a hope for you to regain that title, you just shit on it. Like, you just screwed yourself of ever having a possibility of ever taking the title back. I don't know, maybe she'll prove me wrong, but like it's like one side of me applauds her for speaking her mind, and the other side of me is like, you know what? No matter how you lost, no matter how you feel about it, you lost, and it ain't going to change it. So just be grateful and move on. Like there was shows that I didn't agree with certain placings on, but I didn't go make a big deal about it online.
Yeah, I mean, it just it came off as nasty. What do you see right now?
Her Sarah's post.
Yeah, but also it's like it's directed it's directed towards Sarah for some reason, which is like it's not. I know she doesn't like her or whatever the case is, but it's not her fault she beat you. So it's almost like I don't know, like
They've
why
had
would huh?
they've had some beef over the last few years, and I haven't fully kept up with it because like Natalia is very I don't want to say she's not secretive or quiet, but like Natalia definitely stays far away from any negativity. And I remember I can't remember what exactly was said, but I remember Sarah had made a post. And Sarah's made a few posts, and that's actually why I don't follow her. Because like and it's nothing personal. I think she's a great fucking athlete. But it's like she's made a few posts that just didn't really we didn't align on. That's fine. I don't dislike her. I don't hate her. She got an amazing physique. But she had beef with Natalia back couple years ago saying that Italia was had like fake accounts and she's like trolling her. And she said something like, I know this is you. And I'm like, that's a very bold accusation unless you can prove it. And how the hell can you prove somebody's trolling? Like, I wish I
Yeah,
knew how to find out all the people who's trolled me over the years and found out who they were and their real names. Like, how do you pull that off? So I think someone was probably trolling the shit out of her, and it probably seemed like Natalia. And Sarah spoke out about that. Like, and maybe I'm being biased on this because I think I've known Natalia since she was like 19 or 20. And I just feel like she's been a very mature person her whole life, but she was far more mature than any other 19 or 20-year-old girl that I'd ever met. So I don't feel like she would ever be petty and do shit like that. And on the flip side, had these roles been reversed, let's just theoretically say Natalia was perfect and there was some flaws. I'm just going to use the word flaws for right now. But like if there was some flaws in Sarah's physique and Sarah beat her, I think Natalia would just take it on the chin and go right on. Like
yeah, I think so too.
I saw what now people were talking about Natalia's quads. I completely 1000% disagree. I don't think there's absolutely anything at all wrong with her quads. And until I see footage or something to back that up, I'm going to stick to my opinion. Now, the one thing I did see that someone sent this to me because Sarah does a private account now, and she made someone like done a video recording and sent it to me, and she said my account's private because I'm getting like spammed by bots, and I'm like, no, you're really not getting spammed by bots. The whole industry is just shitting on you right now.
They're
Like
real. They're real. It's not
Like
bots.
everybody here, like there's no bots. We're all hating on you for acting the way you're acting. But aside from that, she posted a clip is like slow mo, like when Natalia's coming up from like a relaxed pose. And I will say this, in Sarah's defense, there was a bump on Natalia's shoulder that I never noticed before. Now here's the thing: we've all had a bad shot. I think everybody. I mean, shit. I think Dexter had a funky looking bicep one time.
Hmm.
Like we've all had a bad shot at some point. Now, I still think the fact that I watched, the live stream, I never saw anything like I never saw it on stage at all.
I didn't
I
notice
think
it.
Natalia was still I think she was still the winner, even if she'd shot both sides. But the thing is, I don't think she was oiling up her delts. I think it was just a shot that probably she nicked a nerve or something and it swelled up. And it wasn't terrible either. It was like a very tiny blemish, and we've all done that. Like, hell, I won the Mr. Kentucky with a knot in my ass, basically. I didn't want it to be there. I shot the thing. I mean, I'm not shooting synthol in my glutes.
Hmm.
So I had a big bump there and I couldn't get rid of it. And it could have been, I mean, she may have taken that shot 5 or 6, 7 days ago, and it's still there. But I mean, overall, she did the best she could with it. She still came out as the winner. So like, I just think Sarah should have shut up about that. And
Yeah,
I
man.
saw the comments on it. There was quite a few higher profile people was just like, yeah, this is very distasteful.
Yeah, man. It doesn't matter what the flaws are. If you lose to somebody, pointing out the flaws doesn't make you win. And it doesn't make other
No,
people. Yeah, you know?
the only time I could see someone, I mean, even then, like this goes back to like I don't understand what like I mean, yeah, I get it. They have a little bit of personal beef, and I don't know what the fuck ever started that. Like I don't know who could have beef with Natalia. If you ever had a 5 minute conversation with the girl, I don't know how you could have beef with her. Maybe there's a side to her that I don't know, so I'm not even going to judge that. But the only time I could physically see people getting mad is like when Victor lost to Jay in 2007. It wasn't Jay's fault, but
Hmm.
like if you had a problem with it, you don't you don't attack the other athlete. Like if I had a problem with my placings, I wouldn't be like, "Oh, this guy shouldn't have placed. I should. He sucked, man. Fuck this guy." No, I would probably one. I would ask the judges politely, and if they gave me a bullshit answer, then maybe I would attack at the judges. But
Yeah.
like the athlete had nothing to do with that, you know. Like so for Sarah to do that, I feel like Sarah should have went to. I guess it's Sandy that judges that, right?
Hmm.
I would have went to Sandy and be like, "Hey, what the hell? Like, you know, I look like this and she looked like that. Give me an explanation." And if Sandy gave her a legit explanation, take it on the chin. If Sandy gave her some BS, then call Sandy out. But Natalia is not the one making the scorecards here.
No. I don't think they're gonna want her to be the face of women's physique from the way she's conducting herself.
That's what I'm saying. Is I think because of that sole post alone, and I can just about guarantee every judge and every official has seen that at this point. I don't think no matter like I think Natalia could come across the stage next year with a broken leg, and she's still going to place above Sarah at that point.
Yep.
I think Sarah just committed career suicide, and not only
Yep.
that, she committed fan suicide too, because a lot of her fans was very dissatisfied.
Oh yeah. I've always been a Natalia fan, and I'm just neutral with Sarah. I respected her physique, but I'm just neutral about her as a person. But honestly, I don't want to see her win again either. I really don't at
Yeah,
this point.
I've never had a problem with her as a person. Hell, like the year that I think the first year I think that she beat Natalia was like I'm looking at the photos and I was an Natalia fan because I've known her for so long, and I was like, fuck, man, I really don't want Natalia to lose, but Sarah is pretty good here. Like, you know, it's like
Hmm.
shit. Like I call a spade a spade. Sarah beat her, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm not upset about that. But like when I see stuff like that, I'm like, nah, I just kind of show your true character.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
That's
mean, look,
unfortunate.
Mike. We all thought Mike was going to win the classic division. He didn't say a word. I mean, we've all heard rumors about Mike as far as personality wise, but he conducted himself perfectly fine at the show and after the show.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I saw a
And you
video.
know it had to sting. Like of all people, like I feel like Mike's loss had to have stung worse than Sarah's loss because Mike was second last year. He wins the Arnold, and then I could make a point for either one of them. If I'm being blatantly honest, I like Ramon's physique, but I kind of had Mike winning. If I'm being honest, like
Me
I could,
too.
I'm not saying that nobody got robbed because they're just two completely different physiques. Like you're comparing apples to oranges. So like this was by far the best Ramon, and like his reaction on stage, like it was so genuine. It made me happy for him. Like I was
Yeah.
happy to see him win. Like I feel like he was more grateful and graceful about it than Mike probably would have been. Because I
Hmm.
like seeing the emotions. Like you could tell this guy, like this just meant the world to him. But all I'm just saying is Mike was professional. And I know in Mike's heart or Mike's mind, his heart just dropped pretty much through the floor. Like he's like, what the fuck just happened?
I think Ramon's reaction and the way he's been acting this whole since the Olympia, I think he's the most grateful Olympia winner we've ever had.
Yes,
Like
yes.
literally, I don't know if there's a difference between happy and grateful. I don't think anybody looks that. Even the way he was interacting with his fans in Brazil, like you can tell he's like a legit celebrity there. But he wasn't acting like a celebrity. He was acting like he was one of them. Like he was just another guy. Like he
Yeah, I saw
comes
that
off.
video in the back of a truck and he's like flexing at the cars behind him. I'm like, you know what, man? Normally I would say don't do that. You do you, man. Be happy. Enjoy that moment.
Yeah, I follow a lot of Brazilian pages that have nothing to do with bodybuilding. Right, I'm into the Brazilian bulls, like the dogs and shit like that. Um,
Yeah.
and they're all like nonstop posting Ramon because he's a celebrity. You think dog breeders are posting Derek Lunsford in America? No.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't follow those pages, but that's kind of cool. I didn't know he was really, I mean, I figured he had to be pretty famous because like when he lost, the way the fans like just went berserk when he
Yeah,
didn't beat Chris that time. Like I figured he had to be like pretty important down there. And
yeah.
ironically, he actually lives, or he used to live, anyways, in Santo Andre.
Okay.
That's in Sao Paulo. And
Mm-hmm.
when I spent time in Brazil, it was the same city that I was
Mm-hmm.
in too. I, like this, the whole fucking country. What was the odds of me being in the same cities? But I never ran into him.
Yeah,
Never
Ramon.
ran into him.
I think everybody's happy for Ramon. But yeah, being honest and watching in real time, I thought Mike was gonna win, but when Ramon won, I think everybody was probably even happier. To be
Yeah, yeah,
honest,
same. I automatically just thought that they were just gonna. I thought they were pretty much just gonna hand it to Mike. To be fair, because I mean, he looked good. He fits the part. On the flip side, like I said, it's two different physique. Ramon has more of a compact 3D physique, while as Mike is a bigger, broader guy, if that makes sense.
Mike. I mean,
Like nobody's beating Mike's legs.
well, a lot of people were saying he was downsized, which, I mean, obviously he was because he had to drop another. I think he dropped like 8 to 10 pounds, so he was smaller. But it was he looked lean. He looked leaner actually, but to me, I mean, he didn't look like a bad smaller. Just he didn't look like a bodybuilder up there, but he looked
No, I
really
think
fit.
these two will be doing battle for years to come, though.
Yeah.
I don't think
Um.
Ramon is going to be dominant enough to just keep him pushed into second place. But I also don't think that Mike can come in and just smoke him either.
No. Yeah.
Like
It
Ramon's
doesn't.
going to have to drop the ball, but I mean, if one of them's off by 1%, that title could flip flop back and forth multiple times.
Yeah. No. It's not. It's not a shoe in. There's nothing that one person have that's unbeatable. Compared to the
Yeah,
other
neither
person.
one of them I think are quite as I don't want I hate to say this, like I don't think either one of them is quite as dominant as Chris was.
No.
Now, they may soon become dominant like Chris was. Maybe Ramon just slams the door moving forward. I don't know.
I think if either one of
What page?
them, huh?
What page are you on?
This is buys and tries.
I got you.
I think if either of them had that 8 to 10 pound advantage, I think that could put them far ahead. If Mike was able to
Yes.
be 212 on stage, he would have won that show.
Yeah, because he would have been significantly bigger.
Exactly. Same with Ramon. If Ramon would have gotten another 8 to 10 pounds, he would have been. I think he would have been in the driver's seat. With looking for. Let's look at 212 first. If they have pictures. Okay, is Derek winning?
There's got to be some somewhere.
Yeah, probably a little lower. But it's still. Wait, while we're on costume, in fact, let's look at this though. This is prejudging?
Um, I don't know. I can't read the Portuguese on that, so maybe.
I mean,
But I
he
mean, when
looks
I look at that, like he
looks pretty
doesn't
good.
have the same like it's just two totally different looks. But overall, I'm very pleased with how he looks as well.
Yeah, bubbly. Yeah,
Yeah, he's a lot rounder than Mike. Mike is just a little bit more polished. So take your pick on which one you prefer on that.
yeah. Yeah, there's not a clear cut winner for sure, but he looks good. They say Mike looks like a bodybuilder. I think Ramon actually looks more like a bodybuilder, if you ask me.
Well, technically, in my opinion, all of them are bodybuilders,
That's
maybe
true.
outside of Terrence.
Yeah,
But they're all just bodybuilders that has to make a certain weight cap, and it's going to be a matter of who looks the best at that weight. Like if
Yeah.
Classic didn't have a weight cap at all, it would be kind of cool just to see 1 year where they're like, hey, screw it, guys, don't worry about making weight, just show up the way you want to look. And I'd really like to see how some of these guys look with no limits.
Me too. Yeah. I think they would all look much better. Yeah. Okay. I
Oh,
see the two.
absolutely. I think at the regional level, it would be terrible because you would just see like fat guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Sean looked
Sean
incredible.
was very improved. I mean, I don't like, this is not. I don't think this is his best ever, but compared to last year, I mean, I guess
Night and
Matt
day.
just truly over dieted him to the point where he was obliterated because, and kudos for Sean in a way because like it just goes to show he probably knew something wasn't right, but he followed the plan, which is what a good athlete should do. But
Hmm.
it didn't pan out for him. Like when I saw his legs, I remember when we did our predictions with Ron Harris. I saw that
Hmm.
side shot with him and John Jewett, and I was like, his legs are back. I was like, Sean's going to be back in the mix on this. And I think Sean was, I don't know, I don't want to say he was beating Keon, but he was pushing him at prejudging. And I think the only reason he was pushing him was because Keon slightly missed the mark at prejudging.
You know how they say you shouldn't be
He
compared to your,
slammed,
huh?
yeah,
They say you
yeah,
shouldn't be compared to your own self, but you always will be. If you've reached a certain level of conditioning, if this was Kieran's first time being in this conditioning, we would all be like, oh shit, he's shredded. But because last year he was
and he
even a little
froze
bit
again on
tighter,
me.
oh shit. Can you hear me?
Oh, you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
You hear
you.
me? Oh. Yeah, I think because Keon was
Yeah,
slightly tighter last year, that's why people felt like he was a bit off. If this was the first time he was in this condition, I mean, because he was in shape, he wasn't. He was definitely in shape, but because he was a little tighter last year, I think a lot of people felt that he was a
here's
bit
what I
off.
think, and this is just a very broad blanket statement, from the outside looking in. Because leading up to the show, whenever he posted his picture, like from the front and the back, I was like, holy fucking shit, this is untouchable. But something happened with his conditioning, I think, for prejudging. And it wasn't the fact that he didn't get fat. Like he didn't, there was something that just missed the mark a little bit with the peak. And
Hmm.
even when he was off, he still beat Sean off.
Yeah,
So I don't think it was a questionable decision, but I think he did leave the door open. And if he had someone that was a little bit more uh, structurally built like him, he might have been in deep shit with that one. But I think if memory serves me right, he had a little bit of trouble making the weight, right?
he made it by .1 pounds, which is pretty
Yeah.
close.
What'd you say?
He was 211.9, so that's pretty close. You got me?
Yeah, now you're not froze.
Oh, I
Yeah,
said
I
he
got
was
you. What were you
he,
saying?
he was 211.9, so that's pretty close.
But wasn't he a little heavier than that before though?
I mean, I must. Well, I watched his vlog. He woke up that morning 2:14 or 2:15, the morning of weigh-in. So I'm assuming he didn't eat until he made weight, which is
Okay, that may
pretty
have
close.
explained it as well, just because I feel like, and again, this is an outsider looking in, they may have used some form of drastic measure, whether that have just been simply fasting, something out of his normal
Normal.
day-to-day life.
I know
Yeah.
what you mean. Yeah.
And I think that took away from the look. And then once they were able to piece that puzzle back together, excuse me, I think he slammed the door completely at finals. So it'll be really curious to see how he ends up looking in Prague. It'll be him versus Martin, and I think it's going to be interesting because they both have very good aesthetics. Keon is more complete on his frame, but Martin has a bigger frame. So it's like, what do you go with? Do you go like the taller Arnold look, or do you go with the shorter Franco look? Back comparing back in that day, and neither one of them look like Arnold or Franco. I was just using that as an example.
Hey, which one do you think is the better pose? With his legs closer together? or a little
I
wider?
personally like it closer together because it makes his legs look thicker. Like I like the left side better, in my opinion. It shows his glute detail better because he's actually flexing his glutes and he's not pushing his hips back.
Hmm.
And his hamstrings is there on both of them, so I don't think that that's an issue. His adductors are so huge that like there's there isn't a way to hide them, no matter how he poses that. So that's not really a factor. I just think that with his legs close together and him flexing his glutes, it made his lower body far, far superior and more dominant to anyone around him on that stage.
I think so. And he's actually his legs are actually even bigger now. So I think if he
It
poses
kind
like
of
that,
reminds me of like the Ronnie Coleman size, but like with the Flex Wheeler shape. If that makes sense.
yeah,
And
exactly.
along with the Ronnie level of conditioning, because Flex couldn't reach this level of conditioning for his life.
No, no. I think we're gonna see his best at Prague because of what you said. I think anytime you have a new variable to account for, you're not gonna look exactly the same because they didn't have to worry about making weight. So waking up at 214, now you have to make weight. If it's not eating is drastic, that's a drastic thing to do. If you take a diuretic, that's something that you never had to do. So you're gonna have to account for something that you never had to do. That's gonna your look is gonna take a hit, whether small hit or big hit, it's gonna take a hit. Now in Prague, you don't need a scale. So
He
you
could just
just go.
coast. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it takes away that
I
variable of
think I don't know, man. I don't really want to put a prediction on it, but like I feel like he might beat Martin in Prague.
I think he will.
Like Martin's just like superior in regards to size, and he also has the bubbliness. Now, if Martin's frame was completely maxed out, it wouldn't. No, Martin would beat him clearly. But I think Martin's still got, for Martin to be able to become Mr. Olympia, I still think he needs another 15 pounds, 10 to 15. But it's very well doable. He's young enough. He's got the shape, structure. He's got the right team behind him. I give Martin 2 more years, 1 to 2 more years.
I think the only way Martin beats Keon is if Martin completely forgets fullness because he's round anyways and comes
Yeah,
in as peeled as we ever seen him. And then, yeah, I think that's how he beats Keon. He
I
has to
think he
be,
can. I think he can, but I think he needs to. Remember how we talked about it almost like on his back shots, almost like he's kind of like rounding a little too much.
yeah, yep, he can do that.
So I think with that corrected, because the thing is, when he turns like from the front, I think Martin can beat him in the front. Like I think I don't know if it's going to be so much questionable from the front because Martin being a bigger guy, he's also got the small waist, while Keon's abs is a little bit widened. Martin's got the flaring quads. He's got a tall, like broader clavicles, and he's got a good back in the front as well. So I think Martin will win the front shots. It's the back shots that I worry that he will lose to Keon on. And like you said, the only way, like he doesn't have the mass like the pound per square inch. So the only way he's going to beat Keon is to just show up at Dorian Yates level conditioning. And I think Martin's not dumb. I think he knows
Yeah,
that too. And I think that's exactly what they'll do.
yeah.
He may
If
be
we,
5 to 7 pounds lighter than the Olympia, but I think if he is, that'll be enough to put him in the winner circle.
yeah, yeah. That 214 that he woke up at, if he steps on stage at that 214 without any depletion or anything different, I think that'll be enough to win. If Martin looks the same as the Olympia or worse, I think he'll win. If
You ever
Martin
feel
is,
bad sometimes, like picking like predict when you like both guys, like you like them as people and you like the physique too? It's like shit, man. I
yeah,
don't really want to pick.
yeah, and they're also friends. They used to be training partners, so I'm sure that they probably feel the same. Like, oh, this is strange because I want to beat him, but I like him. You know,
Well, last year I think Martin was, if I'm not mistaken, last year he was training at Raw,
he was
and
with
that's
with
where
Sebum.
Chris was, and he's got to go against Chris. So it's just kind of like, that kind of I don't know. Like for me, like if I was training, like in my time, I wouldn't have wanted to see Dexter over here or Sean or Phil. I'm like, fuck you. I'm going to another gym. Like I don't want to see you all. I'm going to do my thing. I want to be distracted. I just wouldn't be, and that's not like it wouldn't be a personal. It's not that I don't like them. I just wouldn't want to be around them while I'm training, knowing
I
that's my
agree.
competition.
Well, they were training together. Actually, they were working out together most of the time.
Even worse, I couldn't do it, man. I could not be training partners with the guy that I know I'm going to go on stage with.
If I'm doing the same show as you, no problem. But if I know for a fact we're gonna be 1 and 2 battling for the competition, I don't want to be rude, but I don't think I want to train with you. I gotta be I gotta be honest.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I know, like, yeah, if I know I'm going to be like second call outs and you're beating me, then fine, man. Let's have a good one. I'm actually here. I'm on your team. I'm supporting you.
Yeah, me
But
too.
like if we're both going to be first call outs and we're both predicted to be the winner of the show, it's like I don't have hate towards you. I just and it's not that you're intimidating me. I'm intimidating myself. Like I'm psyching myself out, and I don't want to do that. Like I hated seeing like I liked it when guys stayed covered and they didn't do sneak peeks or previews or anything like that. I liked it better that way because like when I was competing, it would fucking psych me out when I saw someone like I think I saw a photo of Phil at like 2 weeks out, and I'm like it kind of got to
Yeah,
my
yeah,
head a little bit.
yeah. It's not a good thing because your game you don't want your game plan to change. Oh, he's coming in super shredded. Let me try to do something different. You don't want that to play in your head. You just want to bring your best. And I think things like
Yeah,
that can change. You know. All right. So let's go back to the open. All right. So did we go? Oh, this guy talking about somebody with Keon Pearson shape. This guy is
we called it on
close.
him. I mean, we called the top. Well, actually, we called the top five perfectly on this in the right order too. Oh
Yeah.
wait. Did Nihat place third or did he place fourth?
I'm not sure. He was in the top four with the other guy. But I think the
I don't know if
Brazilian
he
guy,
Lucas. I don't know who won who. I don't know if Lucas beat him or he beat Lucas.
I think Lucas did. Possibly, but don't quote me. Possibly Lucas, but don't quote me.
Yep, Nihat got fourth.
Yeah.
So that or no, that's just somebody's. That's not the actual results. That's somebody's predictions, which is what we predicted as well. But
Hey, the only issue is that Lucas looks to be about 5'1", and Nihat is about 5'6", maybe. So, and he's at the cap. So how do you go from there? If he looks the same, he's not gonna
if
beat the other three.
if Nihat is actually at the top of the 212, do you know he's actually at the top of 212s?
I don't know how close it is, to be honest.
This would be my opinion, and usually I would say I don't worry about what the fuck I say, but like I hope if he can hear this, if he's at the top of the class, the fact that he's 21 years old, I would say screw this and just unlock the gate and go open because at that age, he's still going to grow like a weed.
Yeah,
So you got Keon over here that I don't care if especially like if Neon had 20 pounds to go, I would say, all right, he'd be a competitor with 20 pounds. But if
hmm
he's at the top, he is never, ever going to get past Keon 212. It's not going to happen. And he's not, I don't think he could ever beat Sean either if he's at the top of the weight class. If he's got 15, 20 pounds, he's even got 10 pounds to play with, stay there, stay put. But again, if he's at the top of that class, I would just maximize his time, show up, and I guarantee you he's going to win an Open Pro Show next year and probably a top 10 Open guy because of that structure. Not many guys has that. He has the ability to get super fucking peeled.
I mean,
So
I
you
would
got guys
argue.
like Lucas. Lucas is not because of his height. He's not ever going to do good in the Open. I don't think.
No, I don't think
I
so.
mean, then again, Sean won an Open show, so He
But
can prove me wrong.
Lucas actually looks more compact than Sean for some reason. He looks shorter. His physique looks shorter. I don't think he actually is shorter, but his physique looks
Well,
shorter.
that most muscular pose, he's taller than Sean. If you look at the heads, if you
But
actually, even if you look at the video at the top, Lucas is actually taller than Sean. So
but his proportions look. Am I wrong in saying that his proportions look more like a shorter guy? He has shorter
you
arms, a
froze
bigger
up
head.
again here.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm saying his proportions look like a shorter guy, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
No, I absolutely agree with you on that. I think that division, I mean, the fact that Sean, I mean, I want to say Sean's getting older, but I don't think he's fucking slowing down. So
Getting
there's
better now.
that. I mean, at this point, I mean, Lucas, I would say needs to stay 212. Mihawk is the guy that I could argue that says, if I was him, if I was his coach, if I was Patrick, I may say, hey, man, let's hang these 212 trunks up and let's go big boy.
If Nehat is 211, 210, I don't think he beats any of those three because they're only gonna get better, and he's not gonna be able to get better.
And
Um,
even if they don't get better, he's never going to be able to beat him.
because he's not gonna get better either. Yeah, exactly. Um,
That's
I
what
would.
I'm saying. If he's at the top, there's no room for improvement. And think about it, he's 21, right? So
Mhm.
the reason I don't want to see him stay in 212 is not because I don't want to see him win, but because at 21 years old, you don't want to sit here and just maintain for the next 5 to 7 years and basically wait till Keon gets too fucking old, essentially, because that's what you're doing. You're going to let
Uh-huh.
Father Time catch him. But like instead, I would just want to maximize my physique and see how far I could go because I could see him being, a top level guy in the open one day.
Yeah, I would argue that this version of Nehat at fourth place or third place, whichever place he got, I would argue that this is a better physique than Derek Lunsford when Derek won the 212 Olympia. At 212,
Mm,
I think
it's
his
close.
212.
Nihat's more polished.
Yeah, and Derek lost his pop. Derek didn't have the legs and pop when he won the 212. Even his back, his best body part wasn't crazy impressive at
Because
212.
I think
So
he had to pull down so hard. He basically pulled a Samson.
exactly, this is what we don't
He
want to happen to
overdrive
me.
it to the. Yeah, we don't
Yeah,
want to see him just sit there and spin his wheels for 5 or 10 years.
no, yeah, Derek will look crazy. 6 weeks out, Derek is gonna win the 212 Olympia, no problem. But well, he's at 220 probably, so it doesn't count.
I think he was a little heavier than that, man. Those crazy videos we saw at MI40, I think he
Yeah.
was closer to 230s. People don't think like people when they think about like UFC fighters, like, oh, it's easy to drop 15, 18 pounds overnight. Yeah, you can do it. But when you're talking about like creating the most perfect physique on the planet, that 15 to 18 pounds can drop you from first to eighth.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, hell, I can speak from personal experience on that because when I the gold weight, I was like 265, and I feel like if I could have brought that to the Olympia, maybe I'm just I don't want to think I have an ego or I'm speaking out my ass, but I think I would have been fifth or sixth place that year. Instead, I finished 10th, and I weighed 250 at the Olympia, which was not close to being my best look. So
yeah,
that
yeah,
15 pounds, and that's shorter guys too, so which means it's even more impactful on their physique.
yeah. This is why if knee high at the top of the weight, this is why he'll never move up. Because look at the thickness difference.
Yeah,
'Cause
he's not going to be able to add that if he's at the top. And I feel like he's probably in that 5'5", 5'6" range. So it's like I have
yeah,
a feeling he's at the top. I don't know that to be a fact. Like I'm sure if I were to DM Patrick, he would probably tell me. But like I don't like to get in people's business.
at that height, once you're above 5'5", if you have enough muscle to be in the top five, you're probably at the top of the cap. Besides Keon, probably. But I mean, Keon is at the top of the cap now, but still, if you have enough muscle at 5'6" to be at the top of the class of 212, that's probably it as far as how much more
I feel
signs you
like
can add.
I feel like if you're 5'6", and you're in that first call out, you have to be at the top of the class in order to just simply hold enough muscle to be in the call out.
Yeah, it's almost impossible. Yeah, it's almost impossible not to be at the top. You know, Keon is probably the only one that could have done it, even though I think Keon is a little shorter than 5'5". I mean, than 5'6". I think Keon is like 5'5", probably. Okay.
I don't think Keon's 5'6". Like I said, I've seen I've people say like I think he's probably like 5'4" to maybe 5'4.5", and I may be wrong on that, but like he's got a small frame. That's not a bad thing. You know, I'm not hating on someone shorter than 5'8". I'm not tall by any means, but I think he's probably 5'4" to 5'5".
Yeah, I think Amanda told me he's 5'5", I believe. But I mean, when it comes to Keon, I don't think height and weight
Yeah, man, I lost
matters.
you here for like a good 30 seconds. You
Oh,
think it's the
it's me. My internet's been acting funny. I don't know why. Huh?
off the back end of that? You said Amanda about.
Yeah, yeah. Amanda told me he's 5'5".
Hey man, if you can hear me, try
I can hear you.
closing that video down because maybe you can actually hear me while
I
it's
can
going
hear you.
on.
Yeah. When I look at the recording after, it doesn't. It actually doesn't look bad. It doesn't look choppy. So it records well. Still, it's just the connection. I don't know. This is supposed to be the fastest internet. This is just. It's not it. This is not it. But let me try to take off the
I don't
Wi-Fi.
think it's on. I don't think it's on my end.
No, it's not your end. It's my end. Okay.
Yeah, sometimes the Wi-Fi actually, if you don't have a good Wi-Fi connection, it actually slows things down. It's better to just use the phone.
Yeah, and sometimes it is. All right. Well, let's try to wrap this up a little faster. Let's do the open.
Well, at least it's holding now. But you said right before we get to that, you said you talked to Amanda and she said he's 5'5".
Yes. Yes. Uh huh. So he's almost right there. So I mean, 5'5" is still on the taller side for two
If
twelve.
if he's 5'5", then Nihat's like 5'6". So yeah, he's at the top. He's maxed.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. All right. Let's see.
Who's out of curiosity, whose glutes is that?
Yeah, I was one. Oh, Vlad. Okay, Vlad.
Like,
That makes Vlad Sukawisho.
where's the Instagram handle at?
Right here.
Yep. Know who it is.
You know that guy? Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
But he looks like that off season. He doesn't add any fat. It's crazy. Okay, so boom. This is Samson. What last year and this year? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I hate that for him too, man. I feel like this is the one time where I'm just like, damn, man, he worked so hard, he literally outworked himself.
Yeah,
Like,
that happens sometimes.
I feel like because people was bitching about his conditioning, I feel like he tried to prove us all wrong, and it actually just simply backfired on him.
Yeah. Sometimes when you once you lose that tissue, you don't look harder. And some body parts you actually look softer. Because I would argue his chest and abs actually have less definition. You
I
know?
mean, you know what? Yeah, because he's lost tissue, so the muscle's not pressing up against the skin, so it appears as if he's smaller and less detailed. But
Yeah.
if I was him, hear me out on this for a second. I'd be calling up Milos, and if they have beef, squash that shit because I think he was at his best with Milos. And I know he technically won the Olympia last year with his wife, but didn't Milos prep him all the way to like 2 weeks out, something like that?
It's hard to know the exact thing because you know, there's some give and take there. Sometimes they do their own thing on the low or take the, you know, but generally speaking, when he got with Milos is when all these improvements happen. And we a lot of people would blame Milos, like why isn't he coming in harder? Not realizing that Milos is the first one to tell you that he's gonna bring your best. And sometimes your best doesn't mean shredded. Everybody's best isn't like trying to get like Hadi because everybody doesn't get like Hadi. So I actually think Milos was doing the right thing. It might not it doesn't look like it until you
I
see
mean,
this. Then you're like, oh, now I get it. There's always a reason why people
there's
do
one
stuff.
other factor here that nobody's brought up, and this is the first time I've brought it up.
Hmm.
What if? I mean, people would think that this is impossible considering he's Mr. Olympia.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, we all use underground stuff.
Hmm.
You think it's possible that his stuff was underdosed or fake? Some of it, like even if half his stuff is underdosed, it's going to impact that look.
I don't think so, just because how hard he was pushing. And this was basically what was happening to me for like 3 4 years, whereas I would make improvements, but then I wanted to be so lean that I would kind of just lose it, you know. I think some body types is just never gonna get that look that you're aiming for, as far as just completely stripped, and then you have to kind of just bring something that looks the best. What the fuck? Am I talking to myself?
Okay, yeah, that was my bad that time. These ain't the actual official AirPods. They actually sound really good. There's these little, it's a little cheap Walmart version for like $15. But if you just like tap them, it's like if
Yeah,
we're on a phone call, it ends the call.
yeah, okay. It ended the thing.
So it started to fall out whenever I push. Like I try to grab it and hold it, and I force it back in my ear. This time I just pushed it in real quick. Yeah, I
Mhm.
screwed it up. My bad, man.
No, no, you good. Um, okay, yeah. So I think he just I think he lost muscle. I think he lost tissue,
Yeah,
and he made a video, a story, and he said that he needed more time to carb up, and I don't think that would have done the trick. I think he actually lost tissue.
yeah. I think there's definitely muscle loss here because this is not just being flat. I mean, if you look at everything on his physique, everything from what I can see, his traps, chest, but specifically the arms and the delts.
Legs even,
The
you
legs are
know.
downsized. There's literally not a thing. And his abs, I mean, they don't look as sharp either. That could be
Mm.
the fullness with his abs, but like with everything else, no, I disagree. I think that's he's lost muscle.
Yeah, you know, right after the show, it's hard to be objective, just because there's a lot of emotions in it. So a lot of
I'm sure
times,
he's very emotional right now.
yeah, a lot of times you feel like, you know, if I would have just done this, it would have been better. But sometimes it's not
Yeah,
that
I mean,
simple.
it took him like 4 or 5 years to work his way to the top, and then he keeps it 1 year and loses it. So, like, I'm sure he's not feeling very good about this.
Yeah, yeah. Milo
But
still seems to really like him, huh?
I don't think it's an age thing, and I think this is recoverable for him.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I'm sure Milos is still happy to help him because he still speaks highly of him. And
I would like to see those two back together, but That's between them.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Even if Milos isn't super hands on and just kind of there as an advisor, I think that would be a good thing. You know. Anyways, um, okay. So this is Pittsburgh versus Olympia. All right. What sticks out at you? What do you feel like? Do you feel like the lineup was just better and he got outclassed, or do you feel like he was just not as good as he was earlier?
So a couple of things here. I actually, and this is where, I'm going to call a spade, and I'm going to praise Derek here in a second. But for right now, it's going to seem like I'm not praising Derek. But
Hmm.
like I had Nick winning Pittsburgh, just to be completely honest. But that was not the best version of Derek we've ever seen. And this is the Olympia version of Nick was definitely not the best version of Nick that we've seen. Everything, like, for example, you look at those shots, if you look at the lower back, just specifically the lower back, you can see there's either a film of water or some fat there that needed to come off, even though, yeah, you see what I'm talking about when
Yeah.
you zoom in on that? Like,
Hmm.
even though his glutes and hams still look the same, there's still a little bit more fat on the back. And I don't know, maybe they just overcarbed the shit out of it and they spilled over really bad. That's a possibility too. But
Hmm.
they missed the mark at prejudging, and Kyle actually made a video about it. Kyle is actually very professional. I really like that guy. He's not one to make excuses, and he basically just said, I screwed up and I missed the timing. And I think he's pretty spot on with what he said because they came back at finals looking much better. But the problem is the damage is done at that point. Like, there's no way that they're going to move from like a sixth through an eighth position, which I had him in sixth, but like some people had him as low as eighth.
Hmm.
And I think that would have definitely made Bob's day on that because I know they got beef. But um, I had him in sixth based on what I saw. And I feel like if he could have brought that to prejudge, he might have gotten ahead of Martin and he might have gotten ahead of Sampson. I don't think the best version of Nick here would have gotten Derek, Hottie, or Andrew though.
Yeah, yeah. This was probably the best Derek. Depending what
Nick
you like.
Nick's legs look a little bit flat
They
as
did.
well, from what I can
Mhm.
see. So between having his legs being a little bit flat and maybe that was it. Maybe he was just really flat, and that's why he didn't look as tight. But whatever it was that caused his look to be off, like Nick's one of those guys that like I feel like if he's on, like 1,000% on, he's going to upset a lot of people. But if he's off, he can go from like first, second, or third all the way down to like sixth or 10th. He's not one of those guys that if he misses it just by a little bit, maybe he drops one or two places. No, I think because he's structurally flawed and he's not as good as like the top 4 or 5 guys as far as a structural standpoint, if he misses the mark with that conditioning, which is what he's known for, the mass and the conditioning, if he misses that mark on either one of those, his placings go way down. And unfortunately, I feel bad for him though because I genuinely do because like when I did the Olympia, I sat it out in 2014 when I qualified. I sat it out in 2015 when I qualified. And when I went there, I just wanted to make such a massive statement. And I didn't hype myself though. I didn't talk about it, but I did in my own head. But like I wanted to make such a statement that was just like, damn man, this guy really belongs here. Like he this is your next Mr. Olympia. And then whenever I got there, I dropped the fucking ball. So it's like, I know he's been waiting. Like he's been off the Olympia stage, what, 2 years in a row? I don't think he did
Yeah.
it. He did it in 22.
Hmm.
Yeah. So being off 2 years in a row, off the stage for 2 years, and then coming back and spending all that time and all that effort only to miss your mark at 1 or 2 days out. Man, that's a tough pill to swallow. I've had
Yeah,
to swallow it myself, so I mean I know, but like it's not fun. Like
I
Hank
think
said, the best he can do right now is light up the fucking blunt and just forget everything. Just wash it all out right now.
yep. Start.
That's what he needs
It's like
to do for the next 3 days.
you can't think about these kind of stuff because what happens is you do like a knee jerk reaction and you do something drastic that you shouldn't do, right? In the opposite
You
direction.
said you can't think what?
Like you can't you don't even want to use this as fuel because you don't want to do something drastic in the opposite direction, right? Like, okay, now I'm gonna come in way lighter, something like that. You almost just, like you said, forget this ever happened and just go right back to doing what you do. That's kind of how I feel. Can you hear me? No.
What is this? Oh, yeah. But one thing, Nick, is I will point out on this pose, I usually don't like the abs crunched down, but with him, because he has like that freak factor about him, I think it actually looks better crunched down because when he lifts his chest up, like this is something I worked with Joe, is like I want Joe to lift his chest up because Joe's midsection is smaller than Nick's, and Joe's lats tend to hang a little bit wider from the front shot. So I
Mhm.
think most guys do better with like their chest up like really high. But I think Nick actually looks better when he crunches his abs down. And I think at prejudging, well, obviously, from the pictures here, but like he didn't do that. And that's a money shot for him. That's a good pose for him when he nails it like that. And also, this is me being nitpicky. I don't think this should matter. This is just me saying what I'm saying. He needs to come out and smile. As stupid as that sounds, he needs to come out and smile. Like I feel like maybe he knew he was off a little bit, and I mean I know for a fact. Like when I did the Olympia, you look at my face, I was not happy because I knew I was off. Like and there was nothing you could possibly say to me. The whole crowd could have flashed me, and I'd be like, "Man, fuck this shit." I wouldn't have cared. You weren't going to get a real smile out of my face.
Yeah, yeah,
So like I mean, again, like when I look at his face here, he just looks disappointed, and he hadn't even been beaten yet. So that's something I feel like he needs to work on. Like it was more like a confidence thing. But again, I know what it feels like to be off. So
I
because
think
usually when he comes across stage, I feel like he comes across stage like when he walked on stage at Pittsburgh, you could just tell he knew I belong here and this is my stage. Get off, leave me
mhm,
alone. This I'm winning. He didn't have that persona at the Olympia.
yeah. If you pull if you pull your waist up on a front double and your waist, if you stretch out and your waist doesn't look smaller and your lats don't look wider and you don't look bigger, taller, wider in the pose in relation to the abs crunched, that's when you should crunch your abs, right? Because you should be
Yes.
gaining a lot of width and a lot more taper. And if you don't see that, then you're just better off crunching your abs at that point. Is that's what I would say. Like Joe pulls up and he gets wide, his waist looks smaller. You see things
Yeah.
happen. If that doesn't happen, then that's the people who should just crunch down, honestly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
especially
You
if you
got to
have
kind of
really
pick
good
and
abs.
choose. Yeah. And Nick has good abs. So like I would crunch down on that shit.
Yeah, yeah. With one of those things, you know. So
I wouldn't have made the Olympia my choice show to show them the other pose.
no, no. When Kai was like a young amateur, he used to pull up, and then he started getting bigger. And at some point, when he pulls up, he didn't get anything out of it. There was no whiff, there was no taper, and then Kai started, remember, crunching down to the side like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
and
just had to play. He took his weaknesses and had to play them to his advantage.
yeah, and it actually made his waist look tighter because you couldn't see the length and the width of the waist. So
Yeah,
yeah, sometimes you have to do that. Some people could do both. Sean Roden could do both. He just chose to crunch down for some reason, but his waist looks small no matter what the fuck he did. You
yeah.
know.
Well, Sean had very, very narrow hips and a very
Hmm.
small midsection in general. And, not too many guys are gifted the way that he was. But yeah, he could
Yeah,
do both poses perfectly.
and he had sharp abs. Some people have small waist, but not sharp abs per se. So he had both. So like Andrew Jack, Andrew could do both as well because he had a small waist and razor abs. So it almost
Yeah,
doesn't matter. He kind of does both at the same time. I feel like Andrew is standing tall, but it looks like he's flexing his abs anyways.
yeah.
Even if he's not, I don't know. Yeah, but oh, yeah, I think Nick can bounce back for this. I don't think this is something that's gonna. If he's spot on, he almost beat Derek. So that wasn't that long ago.
I
Um,
think he had to just been super flat at prejudging because he just looks a lot fucking bigger in finals.
yeah, yeah,
And that's the thing. So if he doesn't bring that fullness and that conditioning, it's over for him. And it sucks because now he's going to wait at least 6 months before he's going to get any redemption.
yeah. One thing I will say is that I don't think he needs to get any bigger. I don't think he needs to do the 300 pound off seasons. If I'm being
No,
honest,
no.
yeah, I don't think that's. I think he's plenty big enough. Um, I'm looking for Andrew. I gotta be honest. In finals, man. I mean, even in prejudging, Andrew was crazy, but in finals, I'm like, yo, Andrew looks like he can win the whole fucking show. That's what I was thinking watching
Yeah,
him.
here's kind
That's
of how I saw this. I had Derek winning at prejudging, and I had Andrew at second. And then at finals, I actually had Andrew at first and Derek in second. But the way I split it, and this is how I justify my own decision on this, is obviously with a judging panel, you would look at the scorecards and, drop the highest, lowest, and you just tally it up, right? It's that
hmm
simple. But, me judging it from one single person, I would say Derek didn't get better or worse. So he was consistent. While as
hmm
Andrew got better, but he didn't hit it 100% prejudging. Therefore, I would give the win to Derek. Even though I think Andrew edged him a little bit at the finals, I think the gap between prejudging and finals on how they look, I would go with Derek as your overall winner on that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can see that. And he's also like as crazy as Andrew looks, he can still appear lanky in the side shots, and that's two poses that he's given up a good amount of ground on. If he was able to not do that, I think that's when he's going to be able to win. When his side poses,
Yeah, and I think a little bit of that is just straight up posing too. Like I don't think he's lacking muscle. I just feel
no,
like he hasn't like he needs to get with Joey or Kenny, specifically those two, and work with them strictly on post what I think he
yeah.
should do. And I think that's the difference in him placing third and potentially placing first.
I mean,
Like when he hits the most muscular man, it's like he's not the way his arms and hands are positioned. It looks like he's about to do a crab shot, but then he does like a instead of a hands clasp, it's like he's not doing the damn pose right. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it looks freaky just because he's so big. But like I just think he could get so much more out of this. I mean, maybe whoever's in his corner has tried it and they know differently. But I would at least like to see it done. If I saw it with my own eyes and I was like, okay, yeah, you're right. But for right now, I just don't feel like that's the best version of him. Like, we're sorry, the best this is the best version. This is not the best display of him.
I've seen him toggle around different styles of different poses, and it's harder than it looks for him because of his long arms. I see him try to full on crab, and it makes his arms look lanky. I'm not gonna lie. When he does like the traditional crab, he does look lanky. He looks detailed and like big, but the arms still look a little too lanky. So I think he's purposely trying to pose different to not look lanky, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. You know.
I will give Andrew credit on something. This was kind of funny. Remember, I don't know if this was prejudged. I think it was at finals, man. Remember when he did like called the most muscular, and he actually did two things. He caught Derek stepping over the line, and he like kind of nudged him. He's like, "Put your ass back here."
Mm-hmm.
And the other one was when they called the most muscular. He like goes all the way to like the watching the screen. He goes all the way to the right, and Steve was like, "Andrew," and he just didn't respond. And he yelled, he was like, "Andrew, back in line." I'm like,
I
I
remember
think, I
that.
think, I feel like that was at finals and he was winning. I think that was Andrew's way of saying, "Fuck you, man. This is my show. Say all you want. This is my show."
That's the first time we've seen this much emotion out of him. We never see emotion out of Andrew.
Yeah.
He's never animated, so that's a good thing for sure. Um, but yeah,
I
by
think it
far the
plays to his
best.
advantage. It makes him even more of a fan favorite. Like, I hate to say this, but like, my eyes never really went to Hottie at any point in that comparison.
Me neither.
I mean, I didn't say it was bad, but like I was trying my best to compare Derek and Andrew. Like I felt like that was your two big, yeah, that was your two big hitters.
I think this was actually Hottie's best condition outside of Vancouver and Arnold, probably. But from the back, I don't remember seeing his glutes this shredded for a long time. But even so, he didn't jump out at me. I got to be honest. Like his glutes are usually not this in. You know, a lot of times his glutes are. When he won, his glutes weren't really in like that. But I don't know. He didn't stand out to me if I'm being honest. I thought Andrew beat him.
I'm
Most
not going to
people.
bring this up now, but like if you read those comments on that, just even the first couple there, I'm going to talk about that here in just a second. Like it's starting to get a little fucking ridiculous.
It's kind of it's immature. You know, it's
Very.
immature. Yeah, it's too much. Like you don't even know what you look. Holy shit! Last year versus this year, it's a big difference.
Yeah, it was his legs actually may have lost a tiny bit of fullness, but it definitely he definitely made up for it everywhere else, like with conditioning. So this is one case where the dieting paid off.
Yeah, honestly, I thought Andrew was gonna fall victim to that more than Samson because Andrew looks lankier usually than Samson, but
Yeah.
this time he was bigger than Samson. I'm like, holy
Well,
shit!
he continues to put on more and more muscle. Like when Andrew, I think it was the Arnold. I think it was Samson, Nick, and Andrew, right?
Yeah,
Wasn't that the top three? That was the year that Andrew had came in pretty peeled, but he
hmm
also didn't look. He looked kind of skinnier because I
he
don't
wasn't
think he
big
had
enough.
the muscle. But that's been 2, 3 years now, and he's made a lot of improvement since then. So now I feel like he's able to sacrifice a little bit of muscle to get the grainy conditioning and still look big.
Yeah, yeah, that's the important part, you know. But the way you get down there is still important because Samson was in contest shape 6 weeks out. You know
Yeah.
that might be early. You know,
But have
but
you since you've been home,
hmm
sometimes I entertain myself by reading comments.
hmm
Like I may look at a picture and I may glance at the picture for 30 seconds and spend 5 to 10 minutes in the comment section.
uh
Have you seen any pages? Not specific. I mean, I guarantee you the comments are all over this too. Um, let's see.
What's that?
Okay, I like Giles' comment on that. But like I'm sure it's all over these pages, but like for example, I follow multiple boxing pages, and for whatever the hell reason, they've posted up like photos of Derek and whatnot. And I'm like, first off, this is not your niche, and neither is your following. but like they all know who it is, and the shit pops up on my feed, and I really hate to read some of the comments that I read because I always call a spade on how I see it. Like I just said earlier that I thought Nick beat Derek, right, in Pittsburgh.
Mhm.
So it's not like I'm this huge, like, oh, it's Derek all the way. No, I call it how I see it. And if anyone ever watches me like on a podcast, it's never personal, guys. Ever.
Mhm.
Like if it's personal, I'm in your DMs or I'm on the phone or I'm in your face, one or the other. Like I don't have a reason to sit here and talk shit about anyone on a podcast.
Mhm.
I'm a grown ass man. I don't need to do that.
Mhm.
So it's never personal. But like when Derek walked out, as soon as he walked out, I remember sitting there with you guys. And I'm like, in my head, like, that's Mr. Olympia right there. That's it. Like, that's
Yeah,
the look.
I
But
thought
what I
so.
find to be fucked up is like, people are not realizing that there is no such thing as a perfect bodybuilder.
Yeah.
You can name any bodybuilder in the history of time, and like give me 10 seconds to look at one picture, and I'll point flaws out where he could be better or where his competition was better than. So Derek doesn't have the best bicep peaks. Whoop de fucking do. Like if we want to talk about Samson, he didn't have the grandest conditioning. He also didn't have the thickest back. You look back at Hottie, he's a little bit boxy. You look at Rami, he was incredibly boxy. Didn't really
Mhm.
have the best shape or structure. You look back at Brandon, he wasn't exact. I mean, Sean Roden might have been the closest thing to perfection that we've ever seen.
But muscularity,
Phil,
you could say arms, you could say upper body thickness in
yeah, I
certain
could say
parts.
Sean didn't have the best arms.
Hmm.
Like everybody has their flaws, and I'm seeing all these pictures floating around, like comparing Derek to like Andrea Shaw and stuff, like losing the biceps. And I feel bad for him because I know he's seeing this shit. And like, I think he very rightfully, deservedly won the Olympia. If I didn't, I'd be the first guy to be, talking shit about it. Like, if I
Hmm.
thought it was, some type of political bullshit on it, I'd be the first guy to say it. But the fact that like he won it fair and square, I can't imagine how he feels knowing
Yeah.
that like I went through one page that had like over 200 comments, and I think maybe like two or three of them was like supportive of Derek, and all of them was throwing him under the bus. I'm like, first off, it ain't like any of y'all can do it better, but I understand as a fan, you have the right to speculate without having to be better. It's just like, when we watch football, baseball, basketball, MMA, boxing, we can't beat those guys, but we can still give our opinion on it. It's like, I don't knock anyone for having an opinion, but like, I don't see why people are criticizing him so hard just for the simple fact that he doesn't have the greatest bicep peaks. Dorian Yates didn't have the greatest bicep peaks. He also didn't have the greatest quad sweeps, and nobody said a fucking word about that. I mean, and then also, I don't know if you watched Tyler's recap. He even says like, I think he said Derek's underarm. I mean, it's probably not how I would have worded it, but either way, Derek's underarm for the sake of the conversation. Yeah, it's not that good, but like when he does like a side chest, it's spot on. When he does a back double bicep, it's spot on. So he loses one pose because of the biceps. He loses a front double bicep shot. And I do give that to Hottie and Andrew all day long. But that doesn't mean they should have won the show. So like people see that, and I'm just like, y'all are like, it's like you all need to go create a bodybuilder in a lab or go get your fucking favorite AI bodybuilder that you created because it doesn't exist in the real world. Everybody's got a flaw.
I mean, I don't even think he necessarily. I think he has a phenomenal front double bicep. I don't even think it is distracting in the pose. If I'm being honest,
Not to me.
no.
I
I mean,
literally don't mind it at all. I mean, listen, when you compare them like a skill shot and you specifically look at bicep and you're going Hottie Derek, it's all Hottie all day long because he does have a nice rounded peak. Derek doesn't have that, but at the same time, I still give that pose to Derek.
yeah, yeah. It's a bit much. I think people don't like him personally, but when it comes to who's winning the show, that's irrelevant if you like him. I mean, I don't personally know any of them outside of Nick. right? I don't think I know any of them personally, but it's irrelevant. Do I say Nick should have gotten first? No, it doesn't work that way. You know, there's people I want to see win, I guess probably, but I don't really care. The best man should win. I don't really. It doesn't really bother us. It doesn't do anything. So I don't like how he's being treated. You know.
Yeah, it's actually quite fucking sad to see the internet. But I mean, it's just like I thought to myself, I was like, I mean, I had a couple of people. I'm gonna say I probably had like three or four biggest haters. You
Hmm.
know, when I was competing, it was literally the same couple. And then I'd have a random guy that would say some shit. But for the most part, I feel like the vast majority of the fans liked me. I honestly don't know how I would feel if the whole fucking industry like were talking shit about me and like they have no reason to say anything bad. The only thing you can knock Derek for is not having the greatest bicep peak, and that's it. It's the only thing he didn't have.
Yeah, yeah. That's unfortunate, but even his first win, every his page got taken down because how these fans were like trolling him. It's like imagine working your whole life to get something, and then you get it, and then this is how you're treated. It's almost like you almost want to say "fuck y'all" and just leave, almost, right?
That's kind of what I thought. Like if I like I hate to say it, and I actually hope Derek don't hear this, and I hope he don't hear any of like the comments and stuff. But like if I, some of the pages I've saw, I think I would just be like, you know what, man, if y'all fucking hate me that much, I'm
Y'all
just
can
gonna
have it.
leave.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave. Like, I wouldn't want to be, and he's hated for no reason. I mean, don't get me wrong, like this is nothing to do with his physique, but like when he gives speeches and stuff, he does sound like a preacher. And that's okay. It's not my thing, but that's okay. That's how Derek chooses to live his life, and I can respect that.
I don't
But
hate him.
like,
Like, why would I hate him for
yeah, I mean, I
that?
don't care what he does. I mean, that's
Yeah.
fine. But like physique wise, like people don't like him, and I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, I don't get it. It's not like I've never heard him say a bad word about anybody. Like he's never bashed anyone. He has won gracefully and he's lost gracefully.
For
So
sure.
I don't like last year he got third. He didn't cry, but I'm sure he cried on the inside just because it hurt. But he didn't
Hmm.
go make no shitty ass post like Sarah did about it.
And it's not like he has some blocky physique that goes against this traditional bodybuilding or old school bodybuilding thing. He actually has a really nice shape, and he's pretty fucking muscular. I mean, I think he was very well rounded, and I think he's a deserved champion. So hopefully, I actually hope it doesn't bother him. I hope he doesn't. He's human, but I hope he doesn't really go on social media too often and look too hard because I hope he's truly enjoying this journey because that's the most important part, and I hope they don't take that away from him.
Yeah, and I like the fact that he actually, you saw where he had the pec tear, right?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's
I like
crazy.
the fact that he held it back because I feel like a lot of people would have posted it like at the time it happened. That way, it gives them the leeway to be like, oh, well, I lost because I had this or I had that. It gives them an excuse. I like the fact that he documented it and he was just like, you know what, I'm going to keep this in my back pocket. And I feel like that makes the win more bittersweet. The fact that you went through that and still pulled off, as the best bodybuilder in the world.
Imagine winning and he couldn't even train it. You see him trying to train it, and it's like it was a legit tear. It wasn't like a little strain. It was legit. Like you see it,
When
you
that
see
shit's
kind of
purple up here,
yeah. You see when it kind of goes, it looked like a legit tear. I don't know what he's gonna do about that, but it was a legit tear, and shit, he looked his best ever. To as far as at the Olympia, that was the best ever Olympia look in my opinion. So
I feel
kudos to
like
him. I
two
mean,
things.
mhm.
If it were me, one, my stress and cortisol would have taken over at that point because I have had an injury during a prep, and that's exactly what happened to me. Thought my world was over. But two, the moment I saw the purple, I'd be like, ring ring, hey Jim, bro, I'm gonna have to pull out of the Olympia, dude. I can't do this. I'm not gonna do it. Like I would be like, hey Jake, Jim, Tyler, whoever. Look, I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. So I'm actually happy that he saw it through and it paid off. Like I would
Shit,
have been an absolute nut job going those last 2 weeks knowing that I've got an injury and I'm walking on the biggest stage in the world.
man,
Not
I
only
don't want
that,
to.
like people had. I think I didn't have him winning like our predictions into the show. I predicted him to be fourth,
Yeah,
and I'm happy that he won because I think the best man won. But like the fact that no one was counting on him to win just drove him that much further. And then getting that injury, it's like,
yeah. I don't want to do a local show with one arm tied behind my back. So the Olympia, that takes balls to step up there with a legit torn chest, and it wasn't like 14 weeks out. It was more like I
dude,
think,
2 weeks
yeah,
out.
yeah. So
He's
I think
just
he's at
lucky he
14.
got rid of the bruising.
Yeah. I mean that's pretty
I don't think
incredible.
it wasn't a tendon tear, and I don't think the muscle is detached from the tendon either. I think he had a muscle belly tear
Mhm.
because when he still hits his front pose, like the pec still moves, and you can still see the normal indentation and not a massive indentation. Because I feel like if it was tendon related, it wouldn't have moved at all whenever he went to flex it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
think he got lucky with this one. I think this one. I mean, Derek doesn't train like stupid heavy. I think he said he had like a 70-pound dumbbell or something when it happened.
No, it was 70
Like,
kg. It was 150.
oh, oh, okay, okay, never mind then.
It's give or take. It's like he only trains heavy when he feels like it. It's like I'll see him press 90-pound dumbbells, and I'll see him press 170s. It's like when he's feeling it, he goes for it. When he's not, he does it. But 150s, I mean, that's pretty heavy actually. I mean,
That's heavy for 2 weeks out. Like I did it, but the thing is, I'm also a lot bigger guy than Derek too. Like fuck, I
exactly.
saw Dallas pressing 200s at like 4 weeks out one time.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, he was
insane. Yeah,
literally legit pressing 200-pound dumbbells at like 4 weeks out.
yeah.
That's like
But
some Ronnie Coleman shit.
that I think that says a lot about Derek's grit, though. I mean, he's a hard worker. Anybody who can tear a pec and just go right back to prep and not even mention it, and it's not like he didn't. It didn't even get around. You know how sometimes we hear things that maybe the average fan doesn't hear. Nobody
Mhm.
knew. Like we didn't hear it. Did you hear about Derek's tear? What happened?
Dude,
Nobody heard anything.
I live in Florida. Two, one of my very close friends trains at his gym.
Me too. Yeah.
And I'm just like, and that's what I'm saying. It's like it didn't even get out at all. Like
No.
nobody knew. So
Like I'm
it's one
surprised.
of my friends. He told me that Derek was kind of like he said he tried to speak to him and Derek was kind of rude to him, like just kind of just brushed him off and walked away. And I'm like, dude, he's trying to win the fucking Olympia, man. Like just let it be. But
Well,
now I look back at it, I'm like, that's probably why, because he's got the Olympia on his mind, he's got this shit on his mind. Yeah, he's probably like, dude, just go work out, man. Leave me the fuck alone.
this year I didn't keep up with his YouTube videos, but I saw on Nick Strength and Power he was like he hasn't shown his upper body. He's only shown his legs for like the last 2 weeks. Well, now we know he didn't he didn't want to take off his fucking shirt because everybody's gonna be like, "What the
Yeah.
fuck is that?" You know.
And I would
So
be willing to bet, like, just simply doing like if your pec's torn, it's gonna be sore, right?
uh,
Just doing like a back double bicep, being able to pull this back, it
yeah,
has to
yeah.
hurt. So you can't even show a back. I mean, you might be able to do a rear lat spread, but even then, like if you're pushing in, like your pecs are flexing.
It's gonna hurt.
So everything had to be very uncomfortable. I mean, you can't show a side tricep because then you're showing a pec too. So
Yeah.
you kind of can't show anything up top.
Last year, yeah, he was showing everything, every video, every week he was showing his physique. And this year it was like he would show some quads and then stay covered up. And it was like you don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. You kind of like, and because he was bigger, it's like, well, is he in shape? Because it kind of looked like he wasn't in shape because you're like, he's bigger, but he's not fat. You don't know what
Yeah.
to make of it, but it happens. I think we've been on for a while now. If you can come back on Sunday, that would be dope. I want to do another episode Sunday with the boys. So just
Hit me up. Hit me up a little bit later this week, and we'll figure it out.
all right, bet.
I'm to the
Sounds good.
point, like I kind of just live my life one day at a time now. It's like I don't want to sound like a Vin Diesel. I live my life one race at a time or a quarter mile by the time, but I do just go one day at a time.
Yeah, fuck planning. When you sometimes planning is sometimes you don't know what tomorrow calls for. But
Well, one thing I tell you I won't be doing is I won't be fishing because I looked at the weather and it looks like shit for like the next 2 weeks still. It's going to be another long winter.
it's gonna be one of those winners. I can tell.
I'm just
It's
going to have to
even
buy a big ass giant boat. So I'm going to buy like a fucking 40, 50 footer. That way I can just go even when it's rough.
with the raincoat on. All right, Justin.
All right, man.
Yeah,
I'll talk to you.